discharge of your duties when you elect a people. So perhaps that is what you have in mind. But this is not the fundamental meaning of the word amana. The word amana means trust, simply trust. So whatever trust is laid in you, you discharge that trust faithfully and truly. That is the meaning. So from the same verse I infer that when the trust of the government is laid in you, you must discharge that trust faithfully. However you are elected or created or brought to the government, that is irrelevant. If you are brought to rule through democracy and do not discharge your amana of running the government honestly and faithfully, then you have achieved nothing and you have discharged nothing. And I reasoned in detail elsewhere, and here because the lecture had a limited time, so I couldn't explain in detail, only I pinpointed some distinct features. And this is how perhaps some people may not have been able to fully follow what I want to say. What I have explained elsewhere is the fact that, number one, Islam in the Holy Quran herself condones kingdoms, sovereigns and kings, and mentions them as a sort of Allah's blessing. Jala fikum anbiya, jalakum mulukam, jala fikum anbiya, wa jalakum muluka. Yes. Now, but this is the point. Allah says He made you kings. That means that Allah has nothing against the way of ruling people in the form of kings and sovereigns. And Allah mentioned some kings, earlier kings, who were never elected. In fact, not a single elected government is mentioned in the Holy Quran. But if a form of electoral government is found anywhere in the world, the Holy Quran does not denounce it either. The fact is that a government should come into power not through suppression of rights, but through proper means. And those proper means may differ in various societies according to the standards understood in the various societies, and also in different times. Now conceive the Holy Quran's teachings as promotive of democracy, and immediately you land yourself into difficulties of which you will not be able to ever come out. If democracy is the Islamic way of ruling people, then how can the Holy Quran ignore this fact and condone kingdoms of the earlier times and not declare that from now on the the system of king's rule is abolished and a new system is brought into being? Islam never says that. Secondly, the traditions of one country are different from the other. And it is completely an erroneous idea that man is living in the same age. We are not living in the same age. America is living in a different age, and England is living in a different age, and Denmark is living in a different age, and Pakistan is living in a different age, and Zambia is living in a different age. The age is determined by their mental developments and the progress of their society. There are still people who are living in the age of stones in this world. And the Holy Quran claims to be a message for all mankind. How can Holy Quran only condole a system of a particular age belonging to a certain region and denounce all other systems as un-Islamic? then the African tribal system would become un-Islamic. Then the kingdoms, which are a hereditary system of governments and which are established in that country, and they have not come through oppression of some other people into power, they would be condemned. The communist system of rule would be condemned. All other systems would go overboard, and only a so-called Western democracy would have sanctions of Islam. And even if you do that, it would be of no avail, because the Western democracy itself has failed to discharge its amana to the people in their own respective countries. It has become, in reality, a great source of fraud committed upon the people, by their own countrymen. Number one, the choice that is made through democracy is never effective, and the political scientists agree to the fact that in reality democracy is not in operation anywhere in the world as it should be. There are three parts to democracy. Number one, government of the people. Number two, by the people. And number three, for the people. Now, unless these three legs are present, the democracy cannot be held to stand. You remove one leg and it has to fall. And this is exactly the problem of the world today. In the name of democracy, huge fraud is wrought against the people, peoples of various countries. And each government borrows its legality in the name of democracy and returns a different system of government. Although the mode of election, mode of bringing those governments into seat of power remains the same, the net result is totally different. What is happening in the Eastern European countries? They come to power in the name of democracy. They hold their regular elections, single party elections, and nobody dare oppose those which have been already decided to be elected for the party, and they say it is a democratic system. So if Islam had only proposed democracy, this is what would come to. In the Western governments, it is said, or previously once in the previous century it was said, that the only democracy or near democracy to be seen in the world today is in England. But also the political scientists believe that democracy will not be the dream of those philosophers. That dream of democracy of the earlier philosophers would not come true, let's say this, unless democracy is turned into polity, and polity takes over. And polity means the spirit of democracy in operation. In these three fundamental branches of democracy, that is, the people of the government, by the government, for the government. No, I'm sorry, the government for the people, of the people, by the people, for the people. So if you apply these three fundamentals strictly to the existing situations in the world today, you will find that either the three are lacking and it is a fraud committed upon the people, all the three are lacking, only in name they are present, or at least one or two of the most important things are lacking. If it is for the people, it's not by the people. It's dictatorship in the name of democracy. If it is by the people, it is not for the people. Those who have returned to the government in the name of the people, what they are doing is they are looking after their own self.